Hello, this is Matthew Miller from the ZDNet Smartphones and Cell Phones blog. On Friday, it's now Sunday, I had a chance to pick up the HTC Touch Pro2. This is the European version, SIM unlocked, so it works with T-Mobile and AT&T, but not 3G on either one in the US. So on my right is the HTC Fuse from AT&T. This is the Touch Pro, and the one here on the left is the Touch Pro 2. Just kind of showing you a little size comparison. And let's see, we stack them up. As you can see, about the same in thickness. Touch Pro 2 is quite a bit taller than the Touch Pro there. And the big difference too is also the keyboards. Just a second, it's launching some applications there. So here's the keyboard difference. As you can see, quite a bit wider, being that the Touch Pro 2 is taller. Okay, and the Touch Pro 2, like the tilt, also tilts up. Let's just run through some of the hardware. I'll put the Touch Pro aside. So this is the high resolution display, 800 by I believe 480 resolution, and it has Touch Pro 3D. As I scroll back and forth, it's pretty quick, pretty responsive. You know, it has things like the weather application, kind of fun to watch and check out. Kind of modified now, but we'll run through the hardware or the software here in a second. Some things on the hardware that are different is there's no directional pad that you'd be used to. There's a slider, zoom slider right there. It's a touch sensitive bar, and now we have a send and end key, which is also the home, a back button, and a start menu. And the start menu is modeled to launch your applications rather than your start menu, kind of modeled after what's going to happen with the Windows Mobile 6.5 update. Since this is an unlocked version, it also has a front-facing camera, which you probably won't see in one of the US versions. There, of course, is the headset speaker. On the bottom is the HTC port. What is it? Mini HTC or something like that. This is the port that's used for syncing, charging, and for your headphones. Unfortunately, there's no 3.5mm. On the left side is a volume buttons there, 1 and 2. Up top is a power switch, and on the other side is basically nothing but a stylus here, stylus silo. And then on the back's a bit different. We actually have a 3.2 megapixel camera, and this whole thing is a speaker. It's really designed so that when you're on a call, you set it down like this, and it turns into a speakerphone, full duplex audio speakerphone called Straight Talk technology. Really a pretty nice experience. I've been using that quite a bit in the car. It's loud, and everybody that I've talked to said it's been clear as well. There's actually a button here for mute, so when you're in a conference call, you can push the button and go to mute. Then there's the camera in the middle, and one thing on the camera here, this one had a flash, this one does not have a flash, 3.2 megapixel, so kind of limited. Looking at the keyboard again, as you can see on the angle there, the keys are quite well defined. I mean, they're well spaced, and they actually have some height. They have some feedback when you press on them. It's a 5-row keyboard, you know, with a number row, as you can see there. Fairly nice keyboard, one of the best I've really seen on a mobile device. However, there are some things that I like better about the Touch Pro keyboard. For example, some of the shortcuts, things like the start menu, what I don't see there, an OK button. So this current unlocked version, now it's hard to judge it because every carrier, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, will probably get this device, and they'll all kind of have their own little touches to their keyboard, kind of like what AT&T did versus the unlocked version. So I'm hoping that T-Mobile, who's my main carrier, and maybe AT&T, will optimize the keyboard for some of the things that they've done before. I do like having, over here they have directional arrows, which is really nice to have, but you still have to bounce up and down between the screen and the keyboard quite a bit. for OK and start and things like that. So let's just take a look at, turn the light off there, kind of take a look at some of the software. So I've reordered some of the menus on the Touch tab here. This is one of the default backgrounds. I'll just kind of run through. There's people. I'll try to show you that without revealing all my contacts. Messages, email, the internet, which is Opera Mobile. It's used on here. Internet Explorer is there, but Opera Mobile is the default. Weather, calendar, settings, and then I've moved photos and videos, music down there. And if we go to settings here, let me just show you some of the stuff. On settings, you can customize the tabs. So as we tap on there, you can see there's also stock that I unchecked. I just don't use stocks. And then you can reorder and select which ones you want to use there. Some of the other settings: sync your data, sound, wallpaper, communications, managing Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, things like that. And let's see, the auto sensor as well. Camera is pretty much the same. Music and videos are the same as what we've seen before. Weather's a little bit different. They actually have 5 days, so they have 1 day up there and then 4 other days down below. There's your internet. You can add your own push pages, which may cache it for offline. I haven't tested enough to play with that. There's my email. I've got 3 email accounts, some notifications, and then messages, and I'll go to people in a second. Let me see. I don't think there's... Yeah, so the notifications are kind of similar to the Google Android. You can actually slide from down, kind of like the way that it works on the Android when it slides it down, and they will all be listed here. So that's a great improvement, in my opinion, for the Touch Pro 2, because the other ones before would you'd have to tap on it and go through a couple different notifications to get to where you wanted to get to. So let me just pause the video for a second and I'll find a person we can interact with. Alright, so if I go to the People tab, you can actually set up a number of people and you can scroll through them like you did in the past with the Touch Flow. And then if we wanted to interact with that person, find out more about them, we tap on the person. Now this is their contact card, so all their contact information would show up there. The next tab over would show messages. So any text messages to and from that person would appear here. Next tab is email, so all kinds of emails would show up here, giving you a nice history associated with that person rather than having to go into the application. Here, the next one over is actually linked with Facebook. So we'll have Facebook profiles and updates, and then if any events associated with that Facebook profile. The one problem that I found is if you wanted to see more of the status, that's because it's not fully listed on one line, you tap on that, it actually goes into Opera Mobile and opens up just the web page version of Facebook, which is okay, but I would prefer to see it integrated with the Windows Mobile native application, or even better, HTC to do their own Facebook front end on the mobile device. And the last one is the call history, so all the call history with that particular person would appear here. So as you can see, the People application is kind of a nice nice way to stay in touch and know what's going on with people, and rather than applications. Now if we slide the keyboard here, you can see the keyboard lights up very well, switches very fast, almost instantaneously. Let's go ahead and press the Start menu. And here there's some default apps. I've loaded some. Evernote's one of my favorites. Pocket Twit, Facebook. I put Internet Explorer, screen capture. And then if you go up, you can see you can add or remove programs as you like. And if you tap all programs, then all the programs you have loaded will appear, and you can scroll through and launch it right from there, or you can add those as favorites as well. Okay, and that's World Card Mobile, one of those great applications it comes with that allows you to take a picture of a business card and have it saved to your contacts. RSS Hub, which is an RSS and podcast application that allows you to download them. Google Maps is also loaded by default because this thing does have GPS. So that's kind of a first look. I've only had a couple days with the HTC Touch Pro 2. Plan to spend another couple weeks with the device, and anticipation of maybe a July release or something of the T-Mobile version that I hope comes, because I understand it should have 3G. Still trying to decide between this though and the T-Mobile G1, because I really do like that device. However, Windows Mobile does have the best exchange experience. So that's a first look. Stay tuned for more.